everybody, welcome back to the channel. The Accounting Outreach Machine, how to get clients when nobody knows you exist. First of all, like and subscribe. Check us out at Universal Accounting Center here. Hey, look, one of the most things that accountants struggle with is client acquisition. Okay, it's not that your accounting is bad, your bookkeeping is bad, you know everything about tax law, but you're focusing on getting more clients. How to get more clients, right? Well, here's the truth, okay? The marketplace does not reward the smartest accountant. The marketplace rewards the accountant who creates the most opportunities. All right. I just recently at GrowCon, I met a ton of incredible CPAs struggling to get clients. I also met a lot of average accountants with thriving firms. The difference usually isn't their skill set, the technical knowledge that they have, right? The difference is that they're everywhere in the market. They're completely visible. So understand one thing that's super important, right? The market cannot hire you if it doesn't know you exist, right? How can it hire you if I don't know where you're at? I can't even find you, okay? So what I'll teach today, it's not theory, it's more behavior and sales psychology and how to actually grow a business. So let's get into it, right? And definitely make sure you check out our courses at Universal Accounting Center. Beautiful courses and programs. They're really programs, not courses. But you get a tax certification, bookkeeping, advisory, a coach. They all build on each other. Same skill set as a CPA once you take our programs. So let's jump into this today. One thing that I would like to cover and go over, it would be Module 1. Let's title that, The Biggest Lie Accountants Tell Themselves. What's the biggest lie you tell yourself, right? If I become good enough, these clients will find me. The biggest lie you've been telling yourself is once I get really good at accounting, I'm going to feel confident enough also to put myself out there. Well, aren't you certified? So you are competent enough to do it. So you need more courage, okay? That's not true. If you become better, clients will find you. Like I just said, I know a lot of elite CPAs who have no clients, okay? They're not going to find you the better your skill goes up. Being good is not enough. I mean, it's just common sense. You got to think, guy. Just think of, this is kind of extreme, but just think of a cemetery. It's full of talented business owners that nobody ever knew about. So you got to put yourself out there. But sometimes the truth lies in the extremes, and it is true, right? You'll go to your grave being unknown if you just don't put your name out there. And if you've got good service and you've got good value to provide, you just need to market. You just need to do it a few times. Each post that you make, each time that you do a reach out or an outreach, you're only going to become more confident and competent in the work that you do. So just want to be very clear on that and how all of that works. So here's the thing. Business owners, right? Write this down. Business owners are not sitting around searching for the most technically gifted accountant in town. What they are looking for is someone they know, trust, and believe can solve their problem. So get over yourself. Make the post. All right, make the call, do the outreach, do all of it. They're either going to tell you yes or no and you make money. Okay, but they're looking for someone. So the first lesson is simple, okay? You do not have a bookkeeping problem. I don't have a bookkeeping problem. I don't have a tax problem. I don't have an accounting problem. This is what I do have, an attention problem, because nobody knows I exist. Nobody knows you exist. I can't use your services if I don't know about you. So I would say that would be the conclusion to Module 1, is you just got to get over it. Whatever that meant, my neck needs cracked. Whatever that mental block is in your head, you just got to get through it, push it. Go watch a lot of my other videos too, and you'll realize that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. I think that's a quote from, I believe that's Marcus Aurelius, but it is true. So a lot of times you might think, well, what if they reject me? What if they don't get back to me? What if I do get in touch with them, right? And it doesn't go well, it doesn't go the way that I planned, or they reject me. Who really cares? There's going to be a ton of people that say yes, and that's how beautiful businesses are built. All right, let's go to Module 2. All right, what business owners actually buy. All right, what business owners actually buy. So I think once I understood this lesson, my understanding of sales definitely changed forever. I mean, it skyrocketed. Business owners do not buy bookkeeping. They do not buy tax returns either, okay? They do not buy financial statements. What they do buy are outcomes, okay? They buy outcomes, transformation, and their future selves. Transformation basically could be future self, but mainly they're buying outcomes. Outcomes that reduce pain. Write it down. Outcomes that reduce pain, okay? Guys, nobody buys a treadmill, they buy weight loss. Nobody buys a drill, they buy a hole. Right? Nobody buys bookkeeping, they buy certainty, visibility, confidence, they buy better decisions, they buy less stress, they buy more money. The moment you understand this, your entire sales process changes because now you're no longer selling services and you're selling that transformation. Right? All right, let's go to the next module. Module 3, the CEO brain versus the accountant brain. The CEO brain versus the accountant brain. And what's that look like? Okay? Well, first of all, you are unknowingly sabotaging yourself. And here's why. Because you're thinking too much like an accountant. All right? You have to understand that business owners think differently. Where you think like as an accountant, accuracy, reconciliation, compliance, documentation, reporting. Business owners think more in terms of cash flow, growth, profit, freedom, time, and opportunity. So when you call a business owner and immediately start talking about bookkeeping services, payroll processing, or financial statements, what happens is you've already lost them, right? Because what you're doing is you're speaking like an accountant. You're not speaking their language, and that's a problem, right? You got to speak like an entrepreneur. That's all. That's the only way I can stress that enough. The business owner wants to know, can you help me make better decisions? Can you help me keep more money? Can you help me grow? Right? Can you help me sleep at night? That's what they're buying. All right? Let's go to the next module. I'm having fun today. I'm on you. I'm on your tail about all this, right? You're not working hard enough. You people aren't working hard enough. You should be working 14-hour days and half the days accounting, half the days sales. You need to be growing, talking, getting better. Okay, anyway, let's go to the next module. The accounting outreach machine. Okay, now what we're going to do here is talk about how the firm actually grows. Most accounts operate on hope. Write this down. I will stop operating on hope because hope is not a strategy. And hope sounds like this. It's a bunch of junk. Maybe I'll get referrals. Maybe somebody will find my website. Maybe somebody will recommend me. Well, guys, professionals, they don't hope. Professionals create opportunity every single day. My recommendation is this, okay? And you might think this is nuts, but I think it's nuts you don't do this, okay? And you complain about not having money and not having clients, right? So look, here's my recommendation. 75 to 100 outbound touches per day when you're not actively serving clients. That includes calls, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages, emails, networking outreach, partnership outreach, because conversations create opportunities. Opportunities then create proposals. Proposals create clients, and clients create firms. Can't have a firm if I don't have clients. How do I get clients? I just told you. All right, let's go to the next process in this. The next module. Why most accountants fail Why most accountants fail at outreach. Why most accountants fail at outreach. Well, because you sound like an accountant. That's why. Because you sound like an accountant. That is why. Check this out. Hey, my name is Bob, and I offer bookkeeping, payroll, tax preparation, and financial reporting services. Junk. Absolute junk. Nobody cares. That's just what I call information dumping. Information rarely creates action. What creates action? Okay, there's three things that create action. I call it the QCP. Write that down. QCP. They said there's three things that creates action, and he calls it the QCP. It means questions, create actions. Curiosity creates actions. Problems create actions. Okay? Questions create action. Curiosity creates action. And problems create action. So if I can activate those in the conversation, more inclined to close the deal. More inclined to close the deal. Hey, here's the thing. The most important sales rule. The most important sales rule, and write this down. I'll write it with you. Stop pitching. Selling isn't telling. And start diagnosing. Look, doctors don't pitch. Lawyers don't pitch. Consultants don't pitch. But elite accountants, they diagnose. Okay? They don't pitch either. They diagnose. The goal of every conversation is not to sell. The goal is to discover so that I can truly tailor my presentation to solve this person's problems and help them. And show them the outcome of using my services are going to fix all these problems that they're experiencing inside of a business. That's a completely different mindset. I call that the winning mindset. The winning mindset. All right. So, this is really beautiful. Go ahead and write. I lost my track of what module I'm in because I'm having too much fun. But who cares? Here's the thing. Write this down. The question that opens up everything. The question that opens up everything. So, hey, Mr. Business Owner, how are you today? Hey, my name is Andy. Just wanted to ask, do you need any bookkeeping services? Okay, I see that often. I hear it often. And what's going on here is, what's the biggest, and here's what you need to ask instead. Okay, so, what's the biggest challenge? Hey, Mr. Business Owner, my name's Andy. I just started my own bookkeeping firm. I've had a bookkeeping firm for about 10 years now, whatever your situation is. What's the biggest challenge? What's the biggest financial challenge in the business right now that you guys are experiencing? Talk to me about that. So the word track is, what's the biggest financial challenge in the business right now? Talk to me about that. Well, then be quiet. Most accounts get nervous and you keep going. Well, don't, guys. Silence is one of the most amazing tools in sales. And people fill silence with the truth. You got to let them think. You got to let them talk. You got to let them explain. The more they talk, the more they reveal. So again, that word track was, hey, Mr. Business Owner, what's the biggest challenge in the business? What's the biggest financial challenge in the business right now? Talk to me about that. What's the biggest financial challenge in the business right now? Talk to me about that. Hit them with some silence. Let them think. Let them talk. Let them explain. The more they talk, the more they reveal. This pen, I get so excited. So the next thing is, and I would do, and it's called the psychology of questions, and then underline it, and then start making your notes. And also make sure, too, that when you're watching my videos, what you're doing is you are pausing and rewinding, going back, and really absorbing everything that I'm teaching you and writing notes and taking it down. This stuff that I'm teaching you, you would have to buy a sales program for literally crazy money. So just always keep that in the back of your mind. Anyways, forget when the world we were talking about. What was it here? The psychology of questions. The psychology of questions. So watch this. If I tell someone you need better bookkeeping, what's going to happen is resistance creates. But if I ask, hey Janet, how confident are you in the numbers you're using to run your business right now? Talk to me about that. Boom! The brain immediately starts searching for answers. Okay? Questions create engagement. Statements create resistance. And that's why elite salespeople ask and average salespeople tell. I'd rather be elite than average. I'd rather sell. Just think how crazy it is that you actually get on calls with people and you sit there and you just bark at them and info dump all over them. You're just telling them all this stuff. You spend 45 minutes of your time with them for no money to come out of that. It's literally the dumbest thing ever. Ask questions and get them to sell themselves. You already got the skill. I'm teaching you this without you having to spend 5 years of making sales calls or without you having to get a sales job. You know, so hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down here. Anyways, word track number 1. Let me actually help you out. word track number 1. I call this the cold call. Okay, the cold call. Hey, John, quick question. And then hit him with a nice pause, right? How are you currently tracking profitability in the business? Let them answer. And then ask, how confident are you in those numbers? Then ask, have those numbers ever helped you identify a problem before it became expensive? Now pause, rewind if you need to. Make sure you write that down word for word too. Notice what we're doing. We're not pitching, we're diagnosing. And I literally just got this guy on the phone. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, the next thing is, and I just come in like a lion. I just come in like a crazy, starved lion. Think of a shark, blood in the water type of thing. Shoot. You think of the tiger from Jungle Book when he sees Mowgli, right? I'm just being silly. But you need to be a psycho. You get them on the phone, money is time, and it's all about money. That's all what it's about. So don't waste their time. So get in there, the cold call, go right in, hit them with that question hard. All right, anyways, let's go to word track number 2. And this is titled The Bookkeeping Conversation. The Bookkeeping Conversation. Hey, yeah, and Janet, so now you're kind of already in the conversation here, right here. Hey, Janet, and how often are you reviewing your financials? Pause. What decisions are you making based on those reports? Pause. If the reports disappeared tomorrow, how difficult would it be to run the business? Talk to me about that. And what happens is these questions instantly reveal how financially disciplined the owner really is. And who's selling who? They're going to start selling themselves. All right, word track number 3, the cash flow conversation. The cash flow conversation. I love this one. This is one of my favorite. What's more stressful right now, generating revenue or keeping cash in the bank? Business owners answer this question all the time because it speaks directly to reality, and now you're talking about their world and not your services, which is what most of you do. Like, I do bookkeeping, I clean up QuickBooks. It's just nonsense. No, why would I buy from you? I wouldn't. Show me the outcome. All right, this is titled, we'll just call it Module 7, I'm going to guess. Module 7 here, all right? So this is what I would title this one LinkedIn Outreach. LinkedIn Outreach. Guys, I get them all the time. Most LinkedIn messages are absolute garbage. I don't understand in the world where we have, ChatGPT or the Claude or whatever it's called, the Claude. But anyway, or Gemini or Copilot, like just use the AI and say, hey, can you make me some good outreach for my bookkeeping business for LinkedIn messages? And it's going to make you a really nice LinkedIn message and just mass copy it over, like to a bunch of business owners. Like, what are you so afraid of? People thinking you're ambitious? Like, it's stupid. You just got to believe in yourself and get out there more. But anyways, the messages that I get myself, they suck. So my recommendation would be, don't try and write them yourself. When you have a personal assistant that's probably worth $200,000 a year and you're paying them no money, called AI, so why don't you try using it, especially for your outreach. Anyways, that's going to make that cleaner, more professional. Not saying that you do not know how to communicate, but you'll learn how to communicate at a higher level by using those kinds of tips and tools. So I know when I was on the phone, and I still make sales today, more in person, but when I was on the phone, in terms of efficiency, there was no doubt I would use AI. I would never sit around thinking of a message to outreach someone. I think that's kind of stupid. So you could put the name of the business in there too, those kinds of things, and you could add them in there and say, hey, tailor this message just to this business, those kinds of things. Or you can make one message and you can just kind of paste and just kind of plug and play. So anyways, Here's what everyone sends. A lot of the messages that I do receive kind of just look like this. Hi, provide accounting services. Well, what I do is I delete those, all right? And I'll give you one that you can kind of have a nice baseline to kind of at least get started today and start doing some outreach. Is, hey, John, quick question. What's been more challenging this year? Increasing revenue or maintaining profitability as you've grown? Dude, that's a killer question, guys. Like, you gotta ask it though, right? You gotta copy, just like put it in the message and send it, all right? Hey, John, quick question. What's been more challenging this year? Increasing revenue or maintaining profitability as you've grown? That's it. No pitch, no brochure, no paragraph, just curiosity. People respond to questions about themselves, okay? All right, this is called the follow-up advantage. The follow-up advantage. This is where fortunes are made, okay? Most accounts follow up once, maybe twice, then they quit. That's a big mistake, right? People are busy, guys. They're not rejecting you. They're busy. I've seen opportunities close after months of follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And it's not because you're annoying. It's because you're professional. Imagine how good I am once you actually spend money with me. You haven't spent a dime with me, and this is how much I care about you. Are you kidding me? Professionals never disappear after one attempt. Get your crap together. Follow up like a freak. I just sent my sales team an email today. Just can't remember the statistics. Heck, I'll just look it up. But the statistics on follow-up. Actually, I got it over here. The statistics on follow-up in sales. A study by the National Sales Executive Association found that 80% of sales require 5 or more follow-ups, yet 44% of salespeople give up after just one follow. So think about that. Most sales are not lost because the prospect says no. Most sales are lost because the salesperson stopped following up. Now that's a bunch of junk, right? Can't do that. So we got to get in there. We got to just attack. Hey, the real reason volume matters. Let's talk about the real reason volume matters. And I'd write that down. The real reason volume matters. And no, I don't mean music volume, gosh darn it. I mean volume. Business volume, not hair volume. But volume. So let's talk about volume. Not because volume magically creates clients. You can have junk volume. I've seen fake volume before. I want real volume, okay? The volume creates opportunities to practice. Every conversation teaches you something. Every objection teaches you something. Every rejection teaches you something. Every appointment teaches you something. The accountant who has 1,000 conversations becomes dangerous. The accountant who has 50 conversations, not very good, right? Volume accelerates mastery. Title, we're just going to move to the next section. Before we do, I can't stress enough. Ridiculous amount of outreach. Be a savage. Everything you want is in the work you don't want to do. Just remember that. Everything you want in life is in the work you're not willing to do. Nathan, I don't want to make 100 calls a day. Yeah, man. Probably never will have a $300,000 a year firm. You probably never will have a $1 million a year firm. Well, how would you? It's just like no one knows you exist. All right, the next thing, the identity shift. For me, the biggest transformation I want for you is this. Stop thinking like an accountant who occasionally sells and start thinking like a business owner who happens to be an accountant. Guys, business owners create opportunities. Business owners market. Business owners network. Business owners follow up. Business owners always ask questions. Business owners, they're always solving the problems. It's the technical work that keeps the client. The sales work gets the client. So you need both, right? You need both. Here's what I'll leave you with. Over the next 30 days, 75 outbound touches every day, 25 LinkedIn connections, 10 follow-ups every single day. You need to be doing that. I would end the day with 5 meaningful conversations, track every result, track every appointment, track every proposal, track every conversation, record your sales calls. Guys, most accounts spend years waiting for clients. I want you creating them. Because once you learn how to consistently create opportunities, your future is going to change forever. Guys, the economy doesn't control you. Referrals don't control you. Competitors don't control you. You possess the ability to generate business on demand. You have the willpower to generate business on demand. And that, my friends, may be the most valuable skill an accountant can ever develop. If you got value from today's video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully, you are still winning.